Hello, I'm John Rossi, a touring drummer with a love of all things animal. When I'm on the road, I visit as many zoos, aquariums... Hey, wait a minute. What's going on? Hey, what's going on there? Hello? Hello? We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you Rossifari Zoo news. News you can use from the world of zoos and conservation. Every week, we bring you breaking news and analysis from around the globe, featuring the animals you love and the people who care for them. And here's your anchorman, John Rossi.
Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to Rossifari Zoo News, and a very special episode of it at that, one that is so special that we are releasing it a day early. So normally at this point in time, I do the thing where I blather on about my life and what Zoo News is and all of that, and we will get to that a little bit later, but I want to start this episode with our headline story because, it's pretty awesome. It's big news, and I'm not going to make you wait. So, with that said, I am beyond excited to announce that my team at Safe Red Panda has teamed up with our conservation partner, Red Panda Network, and Follow to release the brand new Follow Red Panda tracking bracelet. Now, for those of you living under a rock, Follow is a company that started in 2018 that creates bracelets and also sometimes plushes that you can buy in zoo and aquarium gift shops, as well as honestly in many other places. I think I've seen them in like Cracker Barrel and at like Love's truck stops and everything. And when you buy them, you are showing your support for your favorite species. But that's not all. The cool part is that each bracelet or plush comes with the ability to track a real live animal in the wild through the Follow app. That means that with your new Follow Red Panda bracelet, you can track a red panda through the mountains of Nepal to connect directly with one of the most amazing animals ever as it goes about its life in its wild habitat. And more than that, when you get a Follow Red Panda bracelet, you're contributing directly to the conservation of this incredible animal. See, wearing the bracelet can help launch conversations about the species, but more than that, Follow donates a percentage of the money from every bracelet sold directly to the AZA Safe program, meaning that every purchase helps save animals from extinction. Conservation with a side of looking stylish? Yes, please. The bracelets are live today and can be found anywhere you find Follow bracelets or at myfollow.com. That's myfahlo.com. And I got to tell y'all, since I'm a special boy, and yes, that inside joke is never going away, I have been rocking my Red Panda Follow bracelet for about 2 weeks now, and I am in love. You can check out my socials today for a look at my bracelet and also the other styles of Red Panda tracking bracelets that Follow has created. It's been so fun wearing this and having this and also keeping it out of the pictures that I have posted on Rossifari because we've been trying to keep this a secret until today. And it's just been a really, really good time. It's also, honestly, It's been really fun knowing about this for months now, but it has been so hard to keep this a secret. I have talked to so many people who are asking when something new and cool in Red Panda-y is coming out. I've actually talked to a couple of people that I've seen at zoos and stuff that are like, why don't we have a Follow Red Panda bracelet yet? And it took all that I had to not be like, oh, you will. Oh, you will. And honestly, it's been such a cool experience working with Follow and Red Panda Network on like the official press release and the timing of all of this release. And The whole thing has just been such a blast, such an honor and a privilege. And I hope that you're as excited about this as I am, and that you go looking for your Follow Red Panda bracelet, because it's just so cool. It's so cool to be part of the Follow family, and red pandas need all the love they can get. Okay, so that's the big news, part one. But there is actually a part two that ties directly into that story, which is that I want to provide you with an update on our fundraiser for Shots for Spots. Now, in case you're not caught up, Shots for Spots is a program being undertaken by the Katie Adamson Conservation Fund to provide veterinary care for feral dogs in Nepal. That includes getting them spayed, neutered, and vaccinated, along with any additional vet care that the individual dogs might need. This program will not only help those dogs and the communities they live in, but also helps the animals the dogs often pass diseases like rabies and distemper along to, and that includes red pandas and leopards and other really important and often endangered species in the mountains of Nepal. Now, my initial goal for this fundraiser was to raise $500. And I am proud to say that we have already surpassed that and actually have raised over $800 in donations so far. And now I'm wondering, can we reach 1,000? It costs $30 to take care of one dog. That's it, $30. And I've mentioned in my posts about this that everyone who donates will be entered to win a special prize, but that I can't say what it is yet because it's not public knowledge. Well, you're probably putting one and one together now and hopefully coming up with two. And because it is public knowledge now, every person who donates $30 or more will be entered to win a Follow Red Panda bracelet. Actually, that's a lie. Follow has been so incredible to partner with that I can now tell you that everyone who has donated or who donates $30 or more after hearing this will get a Follow Red Panda bracelet as a way of saying thank you for helping out red pandas, leopards, dogs, and moors. You've all been entered into the contest if you've donated or if you do donate, and hey, you've all won. So I'll have a link in my stories, and you can go and donate and then send me a copy of your receipt as proof. A few people have sent me the link to the receipts that you'll get in the email, and that I can't actually click on that. So I need you to send me the actual, click on that and send me a screenshot of the receipt, just so I know that you donated. It's not that I don't trust y'all, but I know I would have been willing to lie to get a free Follow Red Panda bracelet at some point in my life. No, I mean, never. Yeah, but just send me that receipt and you will get a Follow Red Panda bracelet. I think we can hit over $1,000, y'all. And it's not about the bracelets. It's about helping animals in their natural habitat. But if you can do that and also get a brand new Follow Red Panda bracelet, you telling me you're not going to do that? Come on. So check out that link in my stories, go donate, and let's raise some more money for the Katie Adamson Conservation Fund and for Shots for Spots. All right. So that is the headline story, and I could not wait to dive into it and share all of that with you. But moving on from that, I do want to get to the normal intro of the podcast. So yes, this is Rossifari Zoo News. It is a crowdsourced zoo news program. Make sure that you're following along on the socials at Rossifari and at Rossifari Pod on TikTok. And if you see anything that you think is zoo news worthy, go ahead and tag me in it, and I will say your name at the end of the episode. Of course, all of that said, I'm recording this episode very early this week since it's coming out early anyway. So if you sent me something and you don't hear your name this week, it'll be there next week. Love you all. The other thing that I wanted to share from my personal life, I've actually had a few requests to share this now, and it's very funny. But if you've been watching my Instagram and Facebook stories, then you know that the run of $1 Million Quartet that I'm doing at Walnut Street Theater right now is unlike any run of it I've done before for many reasons. But one of the big ones that makes it so different on a personal level is that I am wigged for this show. And I've posted a couple of fun photos about that, and some of you reached out and were like, I need to hear this story. So I am now going to tell you about this. So it starts off with me. If you've seen photos of me at all, on the socials in the last bunch of months, you know that I'm growing my hair out. I have no idea what the final look will be or what I'm doing with it. Or I don't know. It's just something fun to do, but I'm growing my hair out. And it turns out that dudes having hair down to their shoulders was not really a thing in the 1950s, which, I knew, whatever. But honestly, a lot of times theaters don't really care what the drummer looks like in this show that much. They've often let me keep my facial hair, which is also not really 50s appropriate, and, whatever. But Walnut Street Theater wants everything to be perfect, which is one of the things that I love about working here. The details in the discussions and the notes that we have and everything are just unlike anything that I've experienced at any other theater or even for the national tours of the show that I've done. So with all of that said, not only is my poor face getting shaved every day, which it makes it sad, it misses its little facial hair friend, but the decision was made that I needed to, have 50s appropriate hair. But I was unwilling and unable to get my hair cut because I'm growing it out and it's finally gotten past its awkward teenage phase. And I just, this one's important to me. So initially, I had an entire team working on my head to try to make it kind of a pompadour up front. And then this is actually fun and animal related. There's a hairstyle that men who did have longer hair in the 50s would do called a duck's ass, commonly referred to as a DA, but the official name is a duck's ass. And basically you would have long hair and taper it down to a tail and put in some bobby pins to push it back up. I don't really understand the physics behind it, right? The technique. But so they worked and put together a pompadour that ended in a duck's ass. And honestly, I'm mostly was just excited about this because, again, it's called a duck's ass. And we looked at it and the team looked at it and they were like, nah. So now I am wearing a wig of a 50s appropriate hairstyle. And I have a huge head. My mom actually called me after I told her this and was like, how did they find a wig that fit your head? So that's why I'll be in therapy in 2026, y'all. No, I'm kidding. I do. I have a huge head. I always have. And but they have one that fits. And it's such a journey to get into it. For every show. It's so funny. So there's a team that has to put my hair into pin curls. And if you don't know what those are, basically they take some strands of your hair and loop them around their fingers and then push the curl up against your head and then put in a bobby pin, I think is the right term, and stick it to your head. And they do this all around your head. So all of your hair is tightly curled onto your head with pins, dozens of pins. I have a lot of hair and a big head, as I mentioned. Then they put a wig cap over that, which is kind of like, those like, I don't know, those little like booty shoe things that they have in shoe stores where if you go in without socks, if you're wearing sandals or something and you want to try on shoes, you put them over your feet and they're kind of almost like nylons, but really short, just go over your foot. It's like that, only it goes over your head. And then they pin that onto your head into the pin curls in multiple places. Then they put the wig on top of that, make sure it's all centered and stuff. And then they pin that onto your head. Now, my wig has sideburns. And so they also have to make sure that those are down my face properly. And then I have to put my glasses over the sideburns, which of course means they don't fit on my ears really well, especially because I have in-ear monitors on. So then we pin my glasses into the wig cap, into the pin curls. And that's what keeps them on my face. And so it's so funny. It takes about 15 minutes to do this, and I look so goofy in every phase. Then the whole thing about pin curls is the reason that people would put their hair in pin curls other than for going under a wig is they would do that and then sleep in them. And then when you pull them out the next day, your hair is all full of body and curly and stuff, which means that after my show, my hair is insanely curly and crazy and messy, but also has a ton of body once I brush it out. But I also get really sweaty playing the show. So it's this weird mix of slicked down by sweat, but also really curly and full of body. And it's just the whole thing is such a journey. And in all of my years of acting and doing music stuff, I've never done anything like this before. And it is cracking me up. It is giving me life. I'm having so much fun with it. And I'll keep posting pictures and everything because, it's a very different world than the normal world of showing you cute red pandas and binturongs and tree kangaroos and sea turtles and such. So with all of that said, this was a very long opening section, but I mean, it's exciting stuff. And now I think it is time to get to... All right, and so getting into our births and deaths for the week, we start off with an extremely cool story. Our friends at the Smithsonian's National Zoo have welcomed 3 litters of black-footed ferrets, which is cool in and of itself since the animal is so incredibly endangered. But what makes this extra special is that these ferrets all carry the genes of Antonia, a cloned black-footed ferret born back in 2023. Antonia was cloned from tissue samples of Willa, one of the last 18 wild ferrets found in Wyoming back when that population of 18 was found and then taken into human care in order to try to start a reintroduction program. All living black-footed ferrets are descended from these 18 ferrets, but Willa actually died before reproducing, meaning that her genes were not represented in the gene pool at all until in 2020 when her first clone, Elizabeth Ann, was born. Antonia was then born in 2023 and went on to become the first cloned endangered North American species to breed naturally when she gave birth in 2024. Both of her kids from that litter gave birth this year, as did Antonia again, meaning Willa's genetics are going to be represented in the black-footed ferret repopulation efforts like they have never been able to be. So absolutely a huge win for our nerdy friends at the Smithsonian. And that was so cool that we moved our red panda birth announcement to number 2 on the list this week, which I never do. Mulhouse Zoo and Botanical Park has welcomed 2 male red panda cubs, the second litter at the facility in the last 3 years. While the little ones aren't visible all the time at the park quite yet, they will be soon, and until then, you can watch them on a closed-circuit video system that they set up at the habitat. The Chester Zoo has announced the birth of a coppery titi monkey, the first one born at the facility in 94 years. This threatened species can be found in South America and isn't super well represented in zoos, so this is a very big deal. And speaking of big deals, the Fort Worth Zoo has welcomed a baby elephant to mom Bluebonnet. And this is extra special because Bluebonnet was the first elephant calf born at the Fort Worth Zoo all the way back in 1998. The little one has been behind the scenes bonding with mom for the past month, but now the announcement has been made and she can be seen on habitat hanging out with the herd. The Wilds has announced the birth of a Przewalski's horse, also known as a pea horse, to first-time mother Paisley and father Maxim. Przewalski's horses were the first species brought to the wilds, so every birth there is extra special to the facility, and the fact that the species was once completely extinct in the wild shows just how important every Przewalski's horse birth still is to this day. This is actually the 26th surviving Przewalski's horse born at the Wilds, which is just an incredible number. And yes, I really like saying Przewalski's horses because I know how to say it and I think it makes me sound smart. Przewalski's. And then last but not least in our births for the week, the Los Angeles Zoo is celebrating the birth of 2 infant chimpanzees. Moms Yoshi and Vindy recently gave birth to a baby each, and both are currently bonding well with their moms, who are slowly introducing them to the rest of the troop. And then that brings us to our deaths for the week. Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium has said goodbye to Dudley the Siamang at the age of 31. She was humanely euthanized after age-related health concerns became too much of a detriment to her quality of life. For 2 decades, Dudley's calls have echoed through the Asian Forest Sanctuary at the zoo, where staff remember her for being sassy and spirited. The zoo will never sound the same again. Bean, a Hoffman's two-toed sloth that lived in the loft at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, passed away after a short battle with heart disease. She was 6 years old at the time of her passing, and in her 6 years at the zoo, Bean had a huge impact, reaching many people as an incredible ambassador for her species. She is truly missed. Turtleback Zoo has recently said goodbye to 2 animals, Shu the Komodo dragon and Coral the striped skunk. Both animals were humanely euthanized after chronic conditions advanced to the point that it was time to say goodbye. Shu was one of the first documented cases of parthenogenesis in Komodo dragons in the Americas. But beyond that incredible fact, he was just a super chill dude who wanted to spend as much time as possible with his people. His favorite foods were whatever was offered that smelled the worst, especially seafood, and despite the fact that those items smelled just as bad coming out the other end, the team still loved giving them to him. And Coral, the striped skunk, suffered from a bad heart condition that was able to be managed for an entire year without affecting her quality of life, something that is honestly incredible. The team absolutely loved her and were so grateful for that extra time with her. She was known for loving to be walked on her harness, something that could really help people connect skunks, an animal that many people don't like because of their scent, with beloved pets to show how cute and lovely they really are. In total, she was just an incredible ambassador for her species. And then last but not least in this section this week, the lorikeet aviary at the Columbus Zoo has been closed due to an outbreak of West Nile virus amongst the birds. 22 of the over 60 lories in the aviary have been affected by the disease, and 10 of those have passed away. The other 12 birds are all receiving intensive treatment in the Animal Health Hospital. To be clear, this is a disease that is spread by mosquitoes and that affects bird populations every year, and the zoo did nothing wrong or anything like that. In fact, I'm actually impressed with the transparency of the zoo sharing this information because honestly, it's not like a bunch of people are tracking the number of lories around and they could have, hidden this fact, but they know that that's not the best way to do things. So yeah, in zoos, in the wild, anywhere there are mosquitoes, this can happen. And I'm grateful these birds are given a fighting chance thanks to the incredible team at the zoo, because if they were in the wild, they would all just die. So while 10 losses is a lot, and I feel for their keepers so much, it's pretty darn lucky that the birds are at a great facility where they're being taken care of as best they can be. And that brings us to the rest of our zoo news for the week. And I want to start off by going through a list of the AZA Honors that were awarded at the AZA conference this year. And there are a lot of these, and there's a lot of details in the press release, so I'm going to kind of try to make it a little bit easier to swallow, because this stuff's important, but also I don't want it to be an hour. So, okay, the Advocacy Impact Award. Top honors were given to Fresno Chaffee Zoo, Oakland Zoo, Happy Hollow Park and Zoo. Significant achievement was given to Lincoln Park Zoo, and the Innovation Award was given to the Audubon Zoo and North Carolina Zoo. The Angela Peterson Excellence in Diversity Award. Top honors were given to the Milwaukee County Zoo and Toronto Zoo, and the Innovation Award was given to the Santa Barbara Zoo. The Earned Media Excellence Award was given to the Georgia Aquarium, Oceanographic Valencia, SeaWorld Orlando, and the San Diego Zoo. And significant achievement was given to the Florida Aquarium and Zoo Atlanta. And then top honors for an individual project was given to Lincoln Park Zoo, while significant achievement for a project was given to the Georgia Aquarium. And that was actually for the New York Times story about wild animals being smuggled into ports that you heard about from our good friend Paige at the aquarium on Rossifari. The Education Award top honors went to the Lincoln Park Zoo and the Oregon Zoo and Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo, and significant achievement was given to Queens Zoo, and the Innovation Award was given to the San Antonio Zoo. The Exhibit Award top honors were given to the Fresno Chaffee Zoo, Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute for their birdhouse, which y'all are going to be hearing more about real soon on this podcast, real soon. The Facility Award top honors were given to the Houston Zoo, the National Aquarium, Zoológico Guadalajara, and significant achievement was given to the Santa Barbara Zoo, Northwest Trek Wildlife Park, and Oceanographic Valencia. And the Innovation Award was given to our friends at Elmwood Park Zoo for their new Veterinary Health and Welcome Center, which you also heard about on this very podcast. For the Green Award, significant achievement was given to Reed Park Zoo, and the Innovation Award was given to the Maritime Aquarium in Norwalk. The Marketing Excellence Award top honors went to Caldwell Zoo, the Toronto Zoo, and significant achievement went to Aquarium of Niagara in Niagara Falls, and that was their Meet the Locals campaign that was all about 360, Great Lakes 360, which you heard about on here, and where I volunteer now, which is a lot of fun. And then let's see here, the North American Conservation Award. Top honors went to the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance and the Minnesota Zoological Garden, Assiniboine Park Conservancy, and John Ball Zoo, and Pacific Bird Conservation in Hawaii. The Research Award top honors went to the Houston Zoo. The Volunteer Engagement Award top honors were given to the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo, significant achievement to the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, and to Oklahoma City Zoo. And also there was a top honors mention for Henry Vilas Zoo for having an operating budget under $8 million and still managing to earn top honors. And then the William G. Conway International Conservation Award significant achievement was given to the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Gardens. And whether you know what all of those things mean or not, it is just cool to see how many incredible facilities have been honored with these awards, showing the amazing innovation and hard work that they are doing. I'm so proud of all of these facilities, especially all the ones we've had on the podcast. For our next story, I have to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, Thane Maynard has left the building. Or will be leaving the building. Kinda. Okay. This was clearly not the place for an Elvis reference, but I digress. After over 30 years as the leader of the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Gardens, Thane Maynard is stepping down from his role. He's going to remain with the zoo part-time as an ambassador and helper with donor relations, but he will be transitioning into a well-deserved retirement from his day-to-day role. David Janicki, a longtime friend and colleague of Thane's, will be stepping into the role. To be honest, I'm not always a huge fan of kind of hand-picked lines of succession where they're friends and buddies and all that stuff for like a lot of reasons. But when someone has had as much of an impact as Thane Maynard has had on the Cincinnati Zoo, I think it's the right call, and I'm glad that his legacy will be handed off to a close friend that he trusts. And then last but not least for Zoo News this week, this next story is about a chimpanzee that old school Rossifari listeners will remember. Back when Tiffany James was introducing us to the chimpanzees and gorillas at Zoo Knoxville, she told us about Mwelu, also known as Lou, a now 34-year-old chimp who is just full of personality. Well, Moelu was recently diagnosed with a spinal tumor, and the zoo teamed up with the University of Tennessee College of Veterinary Medicine and their Dr. Tanisha Moore, along with a human neurologist from the University of Tennessee Medical Center, Dr. James A. Killeffer, to try out a first-of-its-kind surgery on a chimpanzee. The human doctor, and when I say that, I mean a doctor who takes care of humans, since all doctors involved in this procedure were, in fact, humans, was brought in because of how similar chimpanzees are to humans. The surgery was successful, with the vast majority of the tumor being removed, as well as a clearing of the pressure on Moelu's spinal cord and, honestly, just giving Moelu a path to healing. The success of this surgery means it will now be a viable option for other chimpanzees with this type of tumor in the future. It's just an incredible story that not only advances veterinary medicine, but also shows just how much these incredible zoos care about and go out of their way to take care of their animals. And that brings us to
Conservation! Conservation! News time! Oh yeah!
All right, so if you follow any conservation news accounts on social media, you might be very excitedly awaiting me to tell you about the rediscovery of the week this week, since we always seem to have one, and since this week's is very exciting. The Wundiwui tree kangaroo has been rediscovered in the remote mountains of Papua New Guinea after being believed to be extinct since 1928, which is incredible and is true. Just as it was true in 2018 when the story first came out, because that's when this rediscovery happened. And I don't know why this is just like making its way around the internet again now, but it is. And for the record, I'm not here to poo-poo anyone who has reposted it or gotten excited about it. I would have done exactly the same thing, except that I am so weirdly obsessed with tree kangaroos, and I think that the Wundiwui has the best name of all the tree kangaroos, so I remember learning about this a while ago. And even remembering that, I questioned if I was remembering incorrectly or, wondered if I was missing something. Nope, it's a story from 2018 that someone somewhere decided to share as new news, and conservationists and news agencies and people who like tree kangaroos the world over picked it up and ran with it without checking whether it's current or not. And honestly, hey, if it raises awareness of tree kangaroos and more people see them online and see how cute they are and learn about their plight and the fact that they're endangered and stuff, then maybe it's not even a bad thing. But let this serve as the latest and possibly the cutest reminder that it's very easy to believe what we want when we see it on the internet. Again, great story, true story, just not a current story. And then also for conservation news this week, we talked about the effects of West Nile virus on birds and zoo news, but let's not forget they are also facing the highly pathogenic avian influenza pandemic that is traveling the globe as it has been for years now. Recently, an endangered whooping crane known as Ducky passed away from the disease, marking the first time a whooping crane has died due to HPAI. Ducky was part of the International Crane Foundation's breeding and reintroduction program and had been slated for release into the wild later this fall. So this is not only a huge loss of an endangered bird and one that was ready to go out and take his place in the wild, but it's also really scary in what it could mean for whooping cranes and the possible evolution of the disease as it continues unabated. The fact that this is the first whooping crane to go down to it hopefully is just kind of a fluke and doesn't mean that it's getting worse or changing or whatever, but not promising, y'all.
It's time for other news. It's time for other news. Hey, now, right now, it's time. It's time for other news. Hey, it's a segue to the part called other news.
All right. So a video recently captured deep in the ocean shows a full leopard shark mating sequence for the first time ever. And it just so happens to be a threesome. 2 males team up to attempt to impregnate 1 female, and honestly, all 3 seem to be getting along just fine. So is this the norm for leopard sharks? Is it just a fluke? We don't know, because this is the first time we've captured this behavior in the wild. But we don't kink shame on this podcast, so hey, no judgment either way. Well, no judgment of the sharks. But I have to say, I am totally judging some of the humans who wrote about this, because numerous articles, including the one I saw on Vice, referred to this as a, quote, super hot threesome. Y'all, it was sharks. Super hot. Calm the heck down. The people who wrote that clearly need a super cold shower. And for the record, the only reason that this episode is not going to be titled the Super Hot Shark Threesome Edition is because I am going to put something about follow and red pandas because I have to be a good boy. Otherwise, and in all of the minds of all of the Rossifari listeners who made it the whole way through the episode, this is unofficially the Super Hot Shark Threesome Edition. You're welcome.
Animal, animal, animal holidays. Animal, animal, animal holidays.
All right, it is officially October, which is Croctober, a Tamaron month, Lost Species Month, Bat Appreciation Month, Squirrel Awareness Month, and Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. So do not forget to adopt a shelter dog if you're looking for a dog, and most importantly, don't forget to tell every squirrel that you see that you are aware of them for this whole month. Then, for your individual days, the 3rd is Butterfly and Hummingbird Day. That's not 2 separate days, it's Butterfly and Hummingbird Day. The 4th is International Raccoon Appreciation Day and International Zookeeper Day. The 5th is Maned Wolf Day. The 6th is Badger Day and World Habitat Day. And the 8th is World Octopus Day. And those are your animal holidays for the week. All right, so there you have it, folks. A very early, very exciting, well, okay, it was one day early, but still, very exciting episode of Rossifari Zoo News is in the books. Don't forget to go and check out Shots for Spots, y'all. You can get yourself a follow red panda bracelet, save dogs and red pandas and leopards and all the good things. I want to say thank you to all of my patrons, especially my red panda level patrons, Dr. Laura Schenk, Dr. Stephen Williamson, Barbara Bennett, Jenny Owens, Melissa Reed, Carrie Kirkpatrick, John Lewis, who is also here for stickers, Kevin Williams, and Cormac McMuffin. Meow. And I would like to thank everyone who contributed this week. Now, I have to say, I'm recording this very early in the week. It's coming out a day early, but I'm also recording earlier than that. So if you don't hear your name and you sent me something, you'll get your credit next week, or I just secretly hate you. Stew on that for a week. Anyway, so I'd like to say thank you to Anya Keene, Colleen Linehan, Kim Cooley-Croninger, Carrie Kirkpatrick, Kevin Williams, Emily Rockbug, Dr. Natalie Taco, Dr. Laura Schenk, Dr. Zoe Rossi, Barbara Bennett, Crystal Chapman, Anna McEachran, Marianne Rossi, Ann Yoshioka, Mark Hansen, Ali Malensky, Kay Malensky,
The Malenskys.
Madeline Weaver, and Miles Rossi. Thank you all so much for contributing to this week's episode. We'll be back on Tuesday with a brand new interview episode, and then again on Friday for a normally scheduled Zoo News. And until then, remember, friends, the words Newsy credits backwards are Steiderk Yaswen.
The Rossifari podcast is produced, hosted, and engineered by John Rossi. Editing and fact-checking by John and Dr. Zoe Rossi. Our theme song is Sevens by Nathan Burke, performed by Nathan and John. Interrupting John theme and additional voices by Taylor Isaac Gray. You can reach John directly on Instagram and Facebook at Rossifari or by email at rossifaripod@gmail.com. Rossifari is part of the Daydreamer Media Network. Now, stop listening to me and go visit a zoo.
Officially October, which is Croctober. Toter? Croctober. Great job.